Hi everybody, welcome back again. Matt Cison here. Okay, so I promised you in the last video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to come up with your own perfect affirmation. All right, but before we go there, I want to speak about another couple problems of affirmation. Um, People tend to try and auto-affirm what they want in their life, meaning they'll sit there and say, I'm a billionaire, 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 I'm a billionaire. And so to say it over and over again, hoping that affirmation will get in. Um, and you know what? Sometimes that will work depending on how much resistance you have toward the affirmation. But if there's a ton of resistance for that affirmation, it's not going to go in. Why? Because you have all the experiences and the expectations that you've had in your life sitting there rejecting that affirmation. So even if you got like into a trance-like state, right? Got into this nice, beautiful, hypnotic trance, and you allowed yourself to say that affirmation over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you know what? The subconscious mind might open up. That suggestion may come in, but you know what happens though? When that suggestion comes into the subconscious mind, into that little pocket, it still has to battle all of the subconscious experiences and expectations and perceptions that you've had that are battling against that affirmation. So you might feel good for a little while because it'll be like painting over a dirty fence. Right? So for a little while, you're like, wow, I feel good. Wow, amazing, amazing. Then all of a sudden, you know what? All those experiences and expectations you've had that went against that affirmation will start popping their way back up to the surface. Right? So you might, if you're losing weight was your goal, you might eat really well for a week, 2 weeks, but if you had a lot of resistance to that, next thing you know, you'll start throwing in that donut. Maybe a quarter of a donut. You'll break a little piece off the donut, right? And say, oh, just a little piece. That's not hurting me. I've been doing really well. Right? You'll start justifying the little pieces. That quarter donut will turn to half a donut. That half a donut will turn to a donut. That donut will turn into a dozen donuts, right? Right? And the donuts is just an example. It could be whatever food you're addicted to, or anything that you're addicted to, right? So it might get in for a short while, right? But again, it's got to battle with what's inside of the subconscious mind, all the experiences, the expectations, the perceptions that say, are you kidding me? I've got over 1,000,000 perceptions here that say that you're not skinny, right? And you're sitting there saying, I'm skinny, I'm skinny, I'm skinny. And your subconscious mind goes, that's absolutely ridiculous. Right? And also another thing that happens many times is consciously, or they will feel better. You guys will feel better if you say an affirmation over and over and over and over again. But you know what? That might be only temporary also, depending on how much resistance is against it, because it's not necessarily a subconscious mind that's making you feel better. It's your conscious mind that's making you feel better. It's that willpower part of your mind that's making you feel better. Right? Willpower helps us get through things short term. Right? So again, you might feel better, but again, it's just utilizing the willpower of your mind. Now mind you, the willpower, and I kind of mentioned this in the last video, the willpower, the conscious part of our mind is important. We need both the subconscious and conscious mind to come together, and that's what you're going to love about this affirmation, the process. I'm going to teach you to finding your perfect affirmation because it utilizes both. And not only does it utilize the subconscious and conscious mind, it uses the gateway between the subconscious and conscious mind, which is, I said in the last video, the body. Right? You put these three things together, the physical body, the feeling emotion, and the conscious thinking mind together, you allow yourself to listen to all three. All three are going to come together to create your universal mind. Or all three, some people like to say it this way, all three will come together to reconnect to your unconscious mind, which is connected to the universal mind. Right? Got to put all three into play. Okay, so let's go right into it. How do you come up with your own perfect affirmation? So by now, hopefully you've at least tried the exercise that I gave you from the last video once, so you can understand what's going on inside your body. Your body is the gateway between your conscious and your subconscious mind. Let me go a step further. Your body is the gateway between where you are and where you want to be. Let me go one step further. The body is the gateway between you and the powers and the access of the universe. You've got to listen to your body. It's here to wake you up. It's here to let you know whether or not you're in alignment with what you spiritually truly want for your life. And what you spiritually want in your life is connected to the universe. It'll let you know what steps to take next so that you can ultimately live your ultimate goal. You can live your ultimate potential. Right? So body is a key. Got to come back And when I say body, I'm saying everything about the body. If you notice a little twitch in your left pinky toe, become aware of it. Something's trapped inside of there that wants to get out. Okay. So once you got really good at listening to your body, notice the physical sensation. Okay. If you have a physical sensation that doesn't feel comfortable, listen to that physical sensation. Describe the physical sensation. Sit there and say, okay, I've got a ache on my side here, right? And so once you've described the physical sensation, take the next step, and you're going to say the thought of this physical description, right? So it'll be the thought of this ache in my side, right? So now we're going to add the thought process into here. The thought of the ache in my side makes me feel. And when we say you feel, now we've got the body already because we're aching in the side. We got the thought, right? The thought of this ache in my side. Now we want to go for the emotion, right? So we want to get the feeling word in there. Not a, you know, a lot of people when I first start working with people and I say, what do you feel? And they're going, well, I feel like my wife or my girlfriend doesn't listen to me. She doesn't let me what I want to do. And I sit there and go, stop. That's a wonderful thinking description of what's going on in your situation, but what do you feel, right? And then it says like, well, you know, I feel like I have this ache, you know, it just kind of moves from my body. I just don't like it. I go, okay, stop. That's a wonderful physical description. Give me an emotional feeling word of how you feel. Then it kind of takes people aside, going, wow, right? Because they're so caught up in their thinking mind that they don't even have a word for that feeling, the emotional part of their mind. Right? If you're not good at feeling, I suggest that you get a list of all the feelings that you can muster up. And anytime you have a feeling you don't like, sit there and go through the list and see which one fits. It's important for this affirmation to work that you find the right combination of feeling, emotion, and thought, and also where it is in the body. Key and critical, right? And later on, you'll need that if you practice releasing techniques, right? You'll want to know exactly where it's the body, the feeling, and the thought behind it. Okay, but let me come back. Okay, so the thought of this ache in my side makes me feel scared, right? And then you're gonna. So now you got the thought, the feeling, and the emotion. Okay. Now we want to take it a little step further. Okay. We want to add that extra bit of thought. I feel scared because. That word because is so strong. Right? And if you can put a because after the emotion, then the body's going to feel listened to. I feel scared because I think it's going to kill me. I think I'm going to die. Right? So now you've got the antithesis of the perfect affirmation. You've got the opposite of it. I feel scared at the thought that I'm going to die. Right? So you've got the feeling scared, the thought I'm going to die, and the physical sensation inside your body. I feel scared at the thought that I'm going to die. That's obviously your body's saying this is not what I want. That's why it aches. It wants it out, right? So you've listened to what it doesn't want. You've listened to what it wants to try and get out. So it's going to feel honored. Now you want to flip it around. Instead of feeling this way, I'd rather feel, or I'd like to feel, right? So instead of feeling scared, well, I'd like to feel comfortable at the thought of knowing that my body is healthy. Okay, that's the next step. I feel comfortable at the thought of knowing my body's healthy. And guess what? There's your affirmation. I feel comfortable at the thought of knowing my body's healthy. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, by focusing on the physical sensation first. All right, rewatch this video and you'll get it. I'm throwing a lot at you. Now let's say there's a situation or an issue you don't like, right? Let's say, for example, you want a little bit more money, right? So you think about, okay, the thought of not having money at the end of the month, right? The thought of not having money at the end of the month. So we got the thought. Guess what we're going next? We're going to go for the body. The thought of not having enough money at the end of the month makes my body feel tight. It makes my body feel tight in the shoulders, right? I feel tight in my shoulders. And the thought of this tension in my shoulders, what that's the next step is, the thought of this tension in my shoulders makes me feel emotionally, makes me feel, oh, anxious or worried, right? So you have the body, and you have the body sensation, and you have the emotion. Take the next step. I feel worried because I feel worried because I don't have enough money at the end of the month, or I feel worried because I can't pay my bills. Right? So that's what. So now you're listening to your body, you're listening to the feelings, you're listening to thoughts, you're putting it all together. What's the rather feeling? I'd rather feel. I like to feel. I'd rather feel confident at the thought of knowing that I have money at the end of the month. I'd rather feel confident. I'd like to feel confident at the thought of knowing that I can take a vacation when I want to and still be okay. I feel confident at the thought of knowing that I spend my money wisely, right? So notice, so keep playing with it and you'll find the right affirmation, which includes the physical body, the sensation, the feeling, the emotion, and the thought. And you're going to start off there, right? And you don't want to just auto-affirm it. When you say it, keep listening to your body and notice what's happening in your body and observe it and let your body, because this affirmation will bring it to the surface. Things in your body, as a result of the experiences and expectations you've had, it'll stir things up in your body. And if you can learn to just observe what's happening in your body without trying to resist it, your body will process it. Don't try to outthink it. Right? Don't try to run away from it. Allow the body to process it. Now, I do have a program. It's called the Perfect Affirmation, right? And I show you how to release more clearly how to release all these feelings inside your body, so that affirmation can start moving into your body with a more sense of ease, relaxation. And when you can get your body to relax and have a sense of ease when you focus on that affirmation, guess what? It's time to start building from that affirmation. So in the program, I will actually show you how to create from that affirmation and be specific about what your body, your subconscious mind, your spirit wants for your life. It's almost like somebody told me it's like a roadmap. It'll become like a roadmap of where to take your life next. And when you can take your life to the next level, guess what? The next level is going to show. Then the next level, and you start living out of inspired action. You start living out of intuition instead of forced action. We want to come to a point of inspired action. So practice that. So keep doing the exercises from the first video and find your perfect affirmation from the lessons in this video. Thank you, and have a good day.
The perfect affirmation. Wow. It was like I made a comment that it's my business plan for life, because it allowed me to really say, what is it I see for myself? What is it I want? What is it, no holds barred, everything that can be mine. And by doing the process and having the process since the first boot camp, I realized that I'm there and stepping into it, and very excited to use all the tools that have been given to me. And I do say they are tools for enriching your life.